How's it going, guys? Stas here. Welcome back to another video. So another week is officially in the books for SoFi stock and the entire stock market. And let me tell you, man, it was a pretty interesting day here as we wrapped up the week. SoFi stock went down 1% as every index went down as well, except for the Dow. Looks like the Dow went up around 0.1%. So we had a bit of a rocky day for stocks. SoFi started off hot. It actually almost hit 16 bucks this morning, but then we ended up again going down 1%, pretty much downtrending the entire day. So we're going to do an update on the charts, my thoughts, what I'm doing. But first, hit that like button, make sure to subscribe, join my free email stock newsletter, and check out my Patreon if you guys want to keep up with my portfolio updates. All those links are down below. And now let's dive into it. So SoFi, again, it went down 1%, and we were hot in the pre-market. That's the crazy part. We were up to 1565 in the pre-market. You guys can see, and by the way, we started off pre-market, where was it? Like 1530, 35, somewhere in that ballpark. So we were up in the pre-market around 2% when we hit 1565, and I don't know what happened, but we opened up, and the stock just dumped out of the gate, pretty much giving back all those gains from the pre-market. And again, we downtrended the entire day. So we went from 1565 and the low was $15. Think about that. We dropped 65 cents or about 4%. So not the best day, I guess, if you're looking at the intraday chart for SoFi. But as you pull the layers back, you're going to see and realize, wait a second, it's actually looking pretty good. And in fact, the bulls are still in charge. And I would say today was a W for the bulls, even though we had a red day. And let me explain why. Look at this. As we popped to 1565 this morning, even though we dumped right after, right, we still took out the highs from this entire week, from yesterday, day before, right? So SoFi, even though it went down, it ended off the week breaking fresh highs this morning, taking out the highs from the entire week. And we're really just accelerating the overall breakout here. You're noticing on the 1 hour chart, we're now up around, let's see, from 1262, the low on this time frame from the end of May, we're up around, let's see, about 20%. And when we hit 1565 this morning, we were up like 23, 24%. So SoFi is obviously still accelerating. Momentum's there clearly, and we're now bouncing off the 50 SMA into close today. You guys are noticing that on the 1 hour time frame. We bounced into close, and we just completely broke out, really. I mean, from the highs a couple days ago or the end of last week, we took those highs out, no problem. And yeah, I mean, the bulls are clearly in charge here. And the fact that we're going to get rate cuts this year, it's pretty much cemented. Yeah, not in the next meeting or the meeting after or in September is when we're supposed to get rate cuts. But we got word from the Fed that we're going to get two. We're going to get two rate cuts, most likely as of now, before the end of the year, which SoFi wants rate cuts. And the stock likes the fact that we're most likely going to get two of them this year. So, yeah, at this point, guys, SoFi, you ready for this, man? Is trading at multi-month highs officially. The fact that we, now that we took out the highs from last week, right? We hit 1565 this morning. We're trading at about a 4-month high. We haven't been in the mid-high 15s since the middle end of February. Yeah, 4 months ago, guys. So clearly, momentum's building up here for SoFi. 4-month high. This ascending triangle that we called out in the last video, the one before that, probably the one before that, that's now playing out. We had higher lows for months being made into this 15, 20 resistance. Now we're slightly peeking out of there, not fully breaking out or anything crazy yet, but clearly, we're peeking out of there, starting to break out. And for next week, man, I'm looking to see if SoFi, I don't know about next week, but over these coming weeks, right, will it start to fill this gap right here? Notice how, again, this triangle is playing out, and if it really breaks out, man, notice where we can go here. We could start pushing the mid-high $16, $17 even. 17 is where the stock was in the middle of February. That's where it could be going. That's the next gap here to fill. You're noticing it, right? And then after that, baby steps though, guys. But after that, we're looking a bit ahead here. If we're able to break that 17 figure, 1710, whatever it is, 1850 could be the next gap from there to fill. So I'm liking this. I'm liking the momentum building up, and I actually bought more shares earlier in the week. All my Patreon members get all my updates, real-time trades, all that, so you guys already know that. But, I figured I'd mention it here as well. I'm still very bullish. I bought shares, I think it was in like the 14 range, or maybe it was it had to have been mid-14s. I have to go back and double check. But yeah, I like the stock still here, man, at these prices even. You might be like, Stas, it's up like 60, 80%, whatever, it's up off the lows. Actually, 90%. But still, I think there's upside here. I think SoFi, I said it when it was under $10, man, and some people were saying I'm nuts, but I think we're going to $20 plus. I was saying this when the stock was at $6, $7, $8. I was saying literally not too long ago when it was at $6, $7, $8, I see SoFi at a $15, $20 price target. I was saying this before this, before this massive rally here, when we got all the way to 19. We were calling it out back then, and I'm still saying that. We got a nice correction, or no, more than just a correction, but we got a nice pullback here. Now we're starting to break out again. Let's see if this continues. Again, for next week, watch for the gap to 17, maybe the week after that, however long it takes, but that's the next gap to fill here. So what do you guys think about that? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And by the way, hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe. I think we're seeing 50%, according to my analytics, 50% of you guys watch the content, but you're not subscribed. If that's you, make sure to subscribe. And let's quickly, we have another minute or two here. Let's quickly go over the indexes, maybe some stocks, rapid fire style. So the S&P today, guys, went down about 0.25%. SPY's trading right at this 180 SMA on the 4-hour chart. This should act as support next week, but no guarantees. We shall see. And QQQ, same thing. Went down about a little more than 0.25%, 0.4%. And just like SPY, it's trading right above the 180 SMA, right here at 520, 525. This spot might act as support. We'll see, not guaranteed, but bulls definitely want to hold that. If we fall through there, I don't know, man. Not too good for the bulls at that point. Looks like the Dow went up a little bit. All right, Russell down a bit. So not a crazy day, but it was for the majority, or for the most part, a red day. And we can see some stocks that moved. Obviously, Coinbase has been getting a lot of momentum. Coinbase ripped today. Circle went up like crazy. Circle Internet Group, 20% again today, guys, which is just unreal. So these are a couple big movers, and this is all because of what we got last week with stable coins, the news regarding that, which I didn't really talk too much about, but I'll cover that in another video. So those two are obviously crushing it still. DraftKings, funny enough, did well today, starting to gain momentum. We actually called this out a couple of videos ago, so that's up a good chunk from that last call out. Apple did well today. Let's see, 2.2%, not too bad, although it's still very much in a downtrend. Keep your eyes, though, on this, guys. Apple, man, even though they're not innovating like crazy, right? There's a lot of Apple, they're a great company, but there's a lot of Apple, what's the term here? Criticism, right? But keep your eyes on this downtrend. Once this starts to break, this could be a nice momentum name, man. This could go to 220 fast. This could go to 230 fast. So keep your eyes on it. Obviously, it's down because of U.S.-China, trade war, tariffs, blah, blah, blah. But once we get more clarity on that, Apple could be a candidate to go a lot higher. We'll see. But yeah, with that being said, guys, I'm going to wrap up the video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe, join the free email stock newsletter. Check out my Patreon for my portfolio updates. All those links are down below. And with that being said, guys, have a great weekend. I'll catch you all in the next video whenever that comes. I'll see you guys there. Peace out.